I live in Thorpeness. I've got used to the wonderful emptiness, the primitive nature of the shingle beaches, and the quietness, the eerie quietness that you can walk on for miles and miles. The whole area is full of 14th century churches. It's almost a World Heritage Site in terms of the finest pieces of medieval history that exist outside the great cities of Western Europe. You've got this precious 14th century landscape with all kinds of funny old tumble down buildings, these things that make the landscape of England so wonderfully attractive. You start driving great pipes across that, it's just terrifying. You've got a Norman tower church, glorious, and just 5 metres from it they're going to have 1,500 vehicles a day, and you're over narrow roads that were pilgrims' roads to all the abbeys that were around there. It's going to be devastating for that environment, with rat runs, trucks being jammed in narrow roads, vibrations upsetting precious churches, and generally rendering the whole place unfit for human habitation. You've got to live here. You've got to know every piece of shingle, every stone, to understand the friability of it. Those cliffs are just piles of sand that appear to be solid. They're not. You know, they are, you tap them on the top and they can fall down. But there are functional places that are sound and stable where cables can be brought in. Why on earth you pick something which is a mini paradise to start trundling cables across it? They're just, I find, mind-boggling. I went to quite a lot of public consultations. The public consultation process consisted of showing lots of large pictures that were there to impress, with lots of detail left out that was not impressive, and lots of nice bland young men in front of that detail, all of which, when in doubt, said, oh, we'll have to pass that on. And it still seems to be the process. There's hardly any face-to-face addressing of major issues. All the companies involved seem to have conspired not to tell us about it. There has been a conspiracy between government and these energy companies. Perhaps Brexit was a good time to bury bad news in that famous phrase. And they certainly buried bad news big time. They have not told the public what's been going on. And the obfuscation, the evasion, all the vagaries of spin have been used in all their documentation. And they still haven't publicised it properly. And in fact, I'm somewhat distressed that the national newspapers haven't picked it up more fiercely, because it's quite amazing. They're quite happy to announce in the travel section of a quality newspaper, you can rent some nice cabins now at Sizewell at £88 a night, and then go and have fish and chips in Aldborough. But they haven't thought about the fact you'll probably be stumbling all over cables in future. I don't think they quite realise how important tourism is to this economy here. Now, if you start kicking all of that into the long grass of economic necessity, you are going to start going back to the kind of deprivation that existed in Felixstowe and Lowestoft and Great Yarmouth, because no one had cared. After the end of the herring industry, that was it, finished. Tourism is a big employer. EDF, Sizewell, have been a moderate employer, but cables going through landscapes into substations don't create jobs. So it's quite simple. It's a destructive plan that will do more damage than it will do good. The idea of these gold rush mentality, pursuit of power, using any kind of old cheap technology that they can lay their hands on to get the stuff rolling ashore, is just so awfully destructive. It's unthinkable.